Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. On General Hospital today, Marshall discovers the reason for his incorrect diagnosis. Nana reaches out to Ava once more. Diane devises a scheme to regain Alex's legal license, and Tracy and Sonny share a moment. Please be aware that we might get a tiny commission on any purchases you make after clicking on a link in this article. After opening a can of worms and mentioning that she saw Dex leave Cyrus's room while wearing scrubs, Nana leaves Joss and Dex at Dex's. Joss queries Dex over the event that Nina brought up. Dex acknowledges that Sonny gave him the order to murder Cyrus in the hospital. Joss finds it unbelievable that he would consent to such a thing. She believes Dex was trying to get Sonny to back out since he says he tried to talk Sonny out of it, and he would never do that. Dex acknowledges that Sonny stopped him from doing it. Joss learns that this was the night Adam was admitted to the hospital. She continued to believe that she was fortunate to have him by her side. But in reality, he was there to murder Cyrus. Joss queries whether he is implying that if Sonny hadn't intervened, he would have killed Cyrus. Admittedly, Dex would have. "Who are you?" Joss queries. Dex claims he didn't see a way out once Sonny gave him an order. He claims that Sonny's decision to change was a test, and he feels relieved about it. It seems as though Joss doesn't know him because she claims he broke a line she didn't think was conceivable. She claims that this was not like being shot at by armed individuals. Rather, it included an elderly, helpless patient in a hospital. And she finds it troubling that he felt justified in taking a life. Says he's killed people previously. She has placed him on a pedestal in her mind, knowing that he has, and never thought he would be cool with something like this. She sobs because everything has changed, and she is no longer able to do this. Joss charges at Dex. Dex pulls out a bottle of alcohol, hesitates, then calls the non-emergency police line. Trina gets to work at the gallery and is reminded of Paris by a particular artist. Ava fears that at this moment, being here isn't benefiting Trina. Trina is unsure of what can assist her. Trina is informed by Ava that she needs to give herself time to get over this. A displeased Nina shows up, hoping Ava has some time to speak. When Trina excuses herself, Nana seeks Ava's assistance to reach Sonny. Ava claims that since she won't appear good if she tries to divert his attention from Dante, her timing isn't ideal right now. Nana sobs, wanting to be there to encourage him and get in through this. She believes he will pay attention if Ava speaks out for her. A late shipment is on its way. Trina interrupts. An emotional Ava asks Trina to wait and then lock up after saying she has to go. Trina can, and she's concerned about a problem. After saying she'll be all right, Ava and Nina head out. Later, Trina asks whether it's Dante as Joss enters crying. It's not, according to Joss. She needs to inhale. Trina warns, or else she'll start weeping too. Joss clarifies that she was mistaken to believe that nothing could alter her feelings for Dex. She won't put up with what he can live with, and she won't put up with what he is okay with. Trina gives her companion a hug. Diane claims that the state legal board didn't pursue Alexis at the Invader until the medical board contacted them regarding Neil's case. What is this related to her? Alexis wonders. Diane discusses the case and supporting documentation that led to Alex's disbarment and queries her lack of self-defense. Diane dismisses Alex's assertion that it was accurate as unimportant. It was her right to put up a defense. Alexis speculates that she didn't believe she had anything to fight for at the moment. Diane advises her to get over this feeling since they need to get her out of here because she isn't enjoying her job here. Since the medical community despises lawyers above all else and Diane is a female lawyer, she believes there is bias. Diane remembers Alexis not being at her best and drinking at the time. In order to reach the highest courts, Diane has to file several appeals and makes some calls to find out what comes next. Alexis questions why she sacrificed her career to keep Neil alive once more. Because she is both her own worst enemy and a rescuer, Diane explains. Though she still cheers for the underdog, Alexis hopes she is no longer that person. Diane will initiate the procedure of having her support herself. She also advises Alexis to only sleep with attorneys rather than doctors. "Get rid of that gossip columnist that came after me," is the last thing Diane says to her. Marshall questions why he was given the incorrect diagnosis and whether he needed to be mentally sick in order to be experiencing the emotions he experienced at the time in Kevin's hospital office. Kevin informs him that he has recently made a mistaken diagnosis. Kevin notes that although medicine has advanced significantly since its inception, it has also made numerous blunders. Being a more recent science, psychiatry has also had mistakes. According to him, scientists strive for accuracy, and during the time of his diagnosis, they were still debating the definitions of normalcy and mental illness. In those days, white, largely educated, church-going individuals were considered the typical control group. If you weren't in that group or couldn't fit in a specific way, you were seen as a problem or a sickness. Kevin says, young black men who were angry and defiant were labeled as schizophrenia back then, even though they weren't. The belief that a government agency or other organization was out to get them was a major characteristic of the sickness back then. Marshall remembers being terrified at the time and believing that something was wrong with him, which is why he sought assistance. Kevin claims that the drugs he was prescribed probably made his condition worse. He claims that LGBT persons were institutionalized and subjected to shock therapy, and that Valium was prescribed to a generation of disgruntled women. Curtis recalls feeling ashamed and worried that he would hurt the people he loves. According to Kevin, his trade has been and will continue to be shamed. Stella becomes enraged at the thought that racism and other SMS caused those errors, and she feels compelled to fight greater more as a patient advocate for minorities, including women and people of color. There is no justification for any of this, she rants. She finds it incomprehensible that even though they are all human and biology is biology, they are still having these problems. Kevin is aware that his apology is insincere, but Marshall insists that he gave him the straight talk and supported him. Curtis wonders what other people this doctor has taken advantage of. Given that Braddock was a reputable and widely published physician, Kevin claims there were more. Kevin adds his door is always open whenever Marshall needs to talk, and Marshall says he's grateful to him. They tremble. Sitting next to Dante, Sonny assures him that while he is in God's hands, he will not give up on him. When Tracy arrives to see Dante, he discovers Sonny and his son. She explains that Olivia was up most of the night worrying, so she went to see how he was doing. She breaks down in tears and says she thinks of Luke in a hospital bed every time she sees one. Tracy later discusses being informed of Dante's illness with Stella at the nurse's station. Stella informs Tracy that she is eligible for a free yearly exam at GH because she is a board member. Tracy queries if she appears ill. Stella claims that she appears ridiculous because she is standing next to a symbol of wealth and the medical system, on which she was just finishing her tirade. Tracy snarls, "I'll get the exam, but first I have to check my schedule." Stella sulks, but Tracy intervenes and says she's sorry for being impolite. Stella acknowledges that she was already agitated, that Tracy has previously treated her badly. They exchange smiles with each other. In the meantime, Curtis discusses their learning with Marshall in the PT. Marshall wants to cry out and swear, but he can't shake Stella's insistence that they are all fallible. He finds himself in the difficult situation of needing to forgive the doctor since he doesn't see why they can't act like that. Irene used to say that people should forgive themselves more than they should forgive the other person. He must not harbor animosity toward that individual, or he will become hateful himself. The doctor is dead, according to Marshall, yet he and his family are present. He believes it to be evidence of God's existence. A woman walks back into Dante's room and lays her hand on Sonny's shoulder. When he glances up, he recognizes Ava. She claims that no one stopped her and that the nurse's station informed her that Dante was stable, which surprises him. She surmises that they mistook her for Mena when he says they shouldn't have. She's asked not to mention that name. Ava offers to stay with him and says she will just be there for him without saying anything. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.